More, more, more. The messages are all around us. Today, I want to talk about the tyranny of more and how we as leaders can work past it. The messages of more, more, more are really everywhere around us in our culture and even within us. We might feel unsatisfied and feel like we need to buy more stuff. We might feel hopeless or helpless and want to post on social media more our frustration or outrage or the causes that are important to us. We might feel insecure and look for more status in some ways. Uh, we might feel insignificant and feel like we need to get more done so that we can feel important and as though we matter and our contributions matter. There's messages about doing more, about having more, about making more plans, about having more friends. The more, more, more is all around us. For leaders, the more message is often easy. Do more, sell more, add more, have more events, recruit more students, do more things, raise more money. Just whatever you're doing, do more of it. It's not going to be met with a lot of criticism or questioning. It might be frustrating and demoralizing, but it's an easy answer for leaders. And the easy answers are not often the right answers. We need to get past more, more, more to really figure out what are the right things. What are our priorities? And setting priorities for leaders can be challenging because it might be met with disagreement or reveal that we are a little bit more out of touch than we'd like to be, or conflict. And just more of the status quo is easier. But real leaders set priorities, articulate them, set them collaboratively, articulate them explicitly, and then are vigilant about adhering to them. If you thought outworking or out hustling would solve your problems, don't you think that would work by now? Most folks are staying later and coming in earlier. They're spending Sunday mornings trying to get their emails under 100 or maybe under 1,000. If that was going to work, it would have worked by now. But you're not going to out hustle. You're not going to stay a little bit later. You're not going to work a little bit harder to outcome 20 years of structural foundational issues in your industry. I know that doesn't work because I've tried. One of the most powerful questions I was asked, and it's one I think about again and again, even though I was first asked it about 20 years ago, was how could you do less so you could be more? I found this a powerful question. Powerful questions are powerful because they're more powerful in the question and sitting with the question than they are in any particular answer we might come up with in this moment or the next. So how could you do less so you could be more in your role? How could you do less and be more as an organization? How could you do less so you could be more as a parent for your children? There's no easy answers to this question, but it is a powerful question. A few years ago, I was working with an organization and they had pretty severe financial issues. They had cut their budgets year after year after year. They had not replaced staff and they even let some staff go. So they were really working in a bare bones kind of way. And through each year, they kept hearing from leadership, we just need to do more with less. Get that? I understand that. But it was getting really frustrating after less and less and less. And now they were hearing from leadership, we're going to do less with less. And it just let them feeling seen and acknowledged that they didn't have the resources that they once did. They didn't have the budgets, they didn't have the money, they didn't have the staff, they didn't have the time. What used to be 3 or 4 people's job was now one person's job. And they couldn't just do more with less. It doesn't make sense. But to hear we're going to do less with less, and what does that mean? What do you think it should be? Let's have a conversation about what less with less would look like. What's a much more realistic way to approach these things? The number one book I recommend to my clients, whether it's coaching clients or curriculum clients, leadership clients, or friends and family, is a book called Essentialism by Greg McKeown. Essentialism is the disciplined pursuit of less. And the hardest part about practicing this is taking time to set our priorities. What really are our priorities? What matters more? what matters less and what doesn't matter at all. If everything is just as important as everything else, it means we don't have priorities. We can't be all things to all people, although many of us try. So as leaders, what we need to be able to do is collaboratively set priorities and then work towards them. Now, we're all leaders. Many of you have heard me say that leadership is a process, not a position. And if you're a positional leader, how do you work collaboratively with your team to set the priorities, align time, energy, and effort and resources, and then be vigilant about keeping to those priorities? And if you're not a positional leader, how are you going to lead up? How are you going to lead your leaders towards setting priorities, to being essentialist, to doing less so you can be more? More is an easy answer, but it's not often the right answer. If you're a leader looking to think about how you can reduce, how you can set priorities and be vigilant about them so your teams can do less so they can be more, let's connect.